The Wasps are coming to Grounded in 1.0. As you can see, the brand new key art for the homestretch update does include the Wasps again. So we're going to talk about that, why that's a big deal. Also go over some of the stuff that I mentioned briefly at the end of yesterday's update video, talking about new build pieces coming to the game and effectively what's going to happen post 1.0. Never fear, it looks like to me Grounded's going to have a lot more content coming. So if you find it useful, leave a like. Let's get on with the Grounded news, ratbags. So the homestretch update's out, and in the key art on Steam, it now shows Wasps again. Now, a good few months ago, about 3 months ago, they actually removed these and replaced them with bees. I made a little joke about it being cancel culture, and at the time the devs did say that it was to reflect exactly what was in the game at the moment. We'd had Wasps in the key art for such a long time in certain places, so it did feel a bit weird, and it felt like, yep, for sure, they've cancelled having Wasps in the game. But at the same time, during one of my usual little hacks into the game dev files, I did find evidence of Wasps that weren't there before. We had like Wasps legs or Wasps stingers or something like that, and that had never been in the game before. Now it could just be a mistake. Shida is the person that normally does this stuff, but she's in Germany at the moment, so maybe whoever's taken over just kind of forgot, but I don't think so. This close to release, with so many things going on, I don't think the devs are out there making these kinds of mistakes right now. So with all that knowledge, with the fact that we'd seen Wasps for ages, and that originally the game had Wasp nests, I'm saying it now, it's a guarantee, in my opinion, that Wasps will be here in 1.0. But where will they roam? The best bet is going to be in the upper yard. We've obviously got mosquitoes, we've got gnats, and we've got obviously fireflies. And we know that a lot of them creatures do get around big parts of the yard. I don't really notice bees as much in the upper yard as lower parts. So this is where I think we're going to find Wasps. This is where I think they're going to roam and patrol. And I think they'll be like a tier 3 enemy for sure. And I think they'll end up having some sort of poison damage. That's because I do believe Wasps do have a small amount of poison in their stingers. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But either way, I feel like they're going to offer something a bit different from just mosquitoes. Obviously be more harder to beat and defeat. But yeah, we've got all this landscape for them to put a wasp nest. We know there's going to be some sort of overturned tree trunk and the remnants of that tree trunk laying on the floor. And we've got other stuff going on as well, like lawnmowers and more. So it's easily feasible that one of them is going to have the wasp nest. I think it would be really cool to take on some more wasps. It definitely needs just more harder creatures. If we're going to be exploring the upper yard, it's meant to be the toughest part of the game. So why not have some of the toughest flying enemies as well? And of course that will bring up the possibility of having different armors and weapons. What kind of stuff would you like to see made out of wasps? Is it going to be just another type of bow? What about a new type of crossbow? Clearly to me something's got to involve their stinger, just like it is with a mosquito. But what if we could use the wasps' wings as gliders? That brings us nicely onto my next section. What if we're getting more gliders? It's been something I've been dying to get added to the game for ages. And there has been again evidence from the early prototypes that they maybe add something like this. They had some sort of weapon that was called a leaf blower, and it was basically a clover leaf that you waved around, and that never really got added. And of course we do know we've got the slots for your armour, that there is a dedicated slot for gliders. Now I don't know if this is new, but one of my ratbags, Spicy, said that in the actual survival guide there seems to be a new picture of a glider, or just something that not anyone's really talked about. And when you go through all of these pictures, the majority of them are using proper in-game items. Give or take. It's using like the watch, we've got the hot pouch slots, resource analyzer, and we've got obviously little art pieces of some of the tools. But when you look under jump, that clearly looks like a very specific special type of glider. Not just a dandelion tuft. I think it's a given we're going to get one of these. I told you this before, when they added the rad and tough rocks over to the basket on the BMX in the upper yard, that I think we're going to get another glider, because there simply wasn't an easy way to go ahead and grab it. You'd have to build absolute ages or do some sort of hacks from the termite part, going along the fence and jumping in, and that didn't really seem like a game maker's way of doing stuff. Or you can do what you guys have been telling me, some sort of hack with acorn pieces, where you can jump on top of a bunch of them and you can just about get on top of that basket. But to me it's always been more plausible that we're going to get a tier 2 glider that will allow us to fly maybe further and maybe even a little bit higher. Despite having zip lines that everyone keeps telling me are just fine, I've always believed there should be some other ways to get around. If we're not having taming flying around on bees or even wasps, then a glider would be the absolute next best thing. Other than that, the only other way that I would really love to see improvement would be a proper way that we can go up and down some of the zip lines, not just down. But yeah, could we get a glider made out of wasp parts? And then finally onto new build pieces. The interview yesterday that I live streamed had a bunch of info in it, a great little interview between Phil Spencer and Adam, the guy that created Grounded. And it was good. It was light on real new information, just really talking about Grounded's story and what players can expect for 1.0. But nothing really big details or anything we have not really heard before, except for this one line when they start talking about building.
That gave us ideas of adding more. So we added mushroom bricks, and we want to add more building materials in the future.
Well, and that loop that you're commenting on now,
they want to add more building pieces in the future. So that might be just 1.0. But for me, I feel like it's definitely signalling we're going to get more content post one release. I keep going back to the PAX West, PAX East interview that Adam did, and it was filled with questions from some of the audience at the end where they spoke about potential for stuff coming in. And Adam just kept saying that some of that stuff is on a list, but it's not the priority right now. And we kind of all imagine that when you look at the feature board, there's so much on that we haven't seen even any hints of, that some of that stuff is not going to be there with 1.0. It's got to come afterwards. In the latest Casually Grounded stream, Arik did confirm that they will be continuing Casually Grounded after 1.0. Now before this, people had suggested that it was going to stop, and they basically didn't really know either. But he has now said that yep, they're confirming they're going to be doing it. It won't be every week, and they're still yet determining exactly how many weeks or what cadence will be. If I had a good guess, I would say it's probably going to be once a month. Updates will slow down a little bit, or they'll simply just be concentrating on other stuff as well. With the game out, there won't be as much needed or done on the game. Even if there is got new content coming, it probably doesn't need as much of their community team doing this kind of stuff. So I very much imagine that some of them will start working on Obsidian's new game, Pentiment, or possibly other stuff in the future. But he did confirm that they are going to be having it. Now you're not going to waste resources. As great as the Grounded team have been, one of the best in terms of interacting with fans over the last 2 years, it's still quite a resource to send your community team to go and communicate and do these streams, even if it was only once a month. So that to me says there will be new content, and I'm sure they'll be showing off and doing what they usually do, talking to devs or giving us heads up about when these updates might hit. One thing that might actually be going is the super secret backyard chat in Discord, because it does look like there won't be any more PTBs. That's another thing I think the devs have mentioned in the past, that once 1.0 is out, they're not going to have any more PTBs. And that can go both ways. There are some games that have carried on using it, even on Xbox, but not many. I think Minecraft still use it, obviously, and they're a game that's out, and I think Sea of Thieves used to do it. But effectively, the PTBs are really meant to be for games really in development, not games that are actually out now. So that means there won't be as much content flying around. Everyone's going to get that nice big surprise when there is some updates or some brand new content like DLC in the future. When you watch Adam talk to Phil in this interview, you can really see how much it means to Adam Grounded the game. And I think for such a long time, this small team of 14 people that have grown now to maybe close to 20, they've really put their heart and soul into this game. It's made it one of the most popular going, in survival terms at least anyway. 10 million players have played it now. That's more than Conan Exiles, that's more than DayZ. And yes, they probably got a nice boost from the Xbox Games Pass. But regardless, lots of them other games have also had their time on free services or been given away for free. Even if players have only ever played it for a couple of minutes, I still think it's a big deal that Grounded's hit that kind of number. Microsoft don't have a lot of properties really geared towards kids at the moment. Nothing that's gone big or turbo. They haven't got a Sonic the Hedgehog, they haven't got a Mario. And while Grounded is maybe aimed at a little bit higher range than most of them types of games, even though all us adults enjoy them as well, I still think Grounded is probably one of their next big bets at getting a game that lots of people from all ages can play. They've got the animated TV show coming. You're not spending money or you're not licensing a game out if you're going to be just one and done once it's here. So clearly to me, Grounded will live on. Whether it will be free updates, maybe not as big as they used to be, or certainly they'll take a bit more time, or possibly even DLC, which everyone seems to want to go and explore the house, even though I think it would kind of ruin the vibe. or even backyards being teleported, or news stories with new kids. There's a huge variety of things they could do, or just go straight to Grounded 2. So don't fear, things will slow down a little bit. They will change once 1.0 is here. We are going to get more content, or we are going to get a future of Grounded even more. So there we go. What do you think about that? Are you excited about the possibility of Wasps? Could they be a tier 3 enemy? Where are they going to be? Let me know in the comment section what you think, and how excited would you be about more building pieces? As always, any brand new news, I'll be there to deliver it first. And until next time, I'll catch you later.